as much fun as
This
I.
one?
Yes, but I didn't put the audio. ¿Quieres que te mire? I already put your name on there, Mayor Pedro, but I changed it. But they know you're there. You're right, you're there, like I said, tu name, pero ¿quieres que te mire? Si quieres
No.
la peinate.
Está bueno.
Wanna leave it like that. And I put,
Hey, Marlon. Hello?
I only see nine pictures. Are there more people?
Yes. Right now there are 33.
32, yes. Mr. Crane, maybe other board staff also, board staff also, maybe.
And C2 is other books.
Awesome. What are we waiting for?
While we're waiting, if everybody would go to at the bottom of your bar on the bottom, you should have a chat function. You see that? If you will chat your name on that function, that will also serve as an attendance for Heidi later on. Because it will be part of recording. The chat box will open.
Open it.
Right at the bottom, if you go to the bottom of the screen, the bar should pop up and have video, mute, and all that. Right in the middle is the chat.
Okay, chat, yes.
Just chat to everyone.
Okay.
Just say, put your name in there. I'll do it.
How's that?
Good. That'll be there for Heidi to give it to you.
Is this?
Sonia.
Which one?
Here.
All right, Sonia. All right, see.
Hey, Mayor. Can you
Yes,
hear me?
better. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, not bad.
Go
Not
on.
bad.
Go on. We'll get started in 1 second here.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm trying to make you a co-host.
So,
Hi, Rose.
hey, Judge,
Should be the 9th.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm muting over here because they set up a workforce meeting at the same time. So I have
Oh, God.
I have them on the other computer in the screen in front of me, and then I have this one. I'm gonna send you a picture so you can see the insaneness going on here.
Our meeting should be short.
No, I've got, if you need anything, I'm on the text.
Okay. I'm just waiting on the IT guys to give us a go ahead and we'll start.
No, the sound is perfect, just so you know, and the picture's perfect.
Okay.
Hey, Rosie, this is Mayor Flores. Sorry I missed you today. I know you were over here.
We went to go drop off the PPE and some meals for your first responders today, man.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Anything that we can do, the judge has been real helpful and directed all day today. We went across the county to make sure that we got to as many first responders and we were fortunate to have a couple of sponsors to help us cover some of those costs. So we went and did Roma, Rio Grande City, Escobares, La Grulla, Sheriff's Department, today the hospital, And Monday, we also included Border Region, and before the end of this week, we're going to try and go do something in San Isidro as well.
Very good.
We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I know everyone has other things to do, but you know, we've been getting a lot of calls about the governor's order that will supersede all our orders this Friday. You know, and there's a lot of concern, and certainly, you know, I have a lot of concerns with the order that the governor signed. I'll try and give a little summary of some of the things that were on the order that impact us, and pretty much what he did away with the facial coverings being required. He recommends that we use them, but no one can be fined, which means no one can be actually told or ordered to wear them, which I don't agree with, but again, that is his order. The other thing that he did away with was the stay-at-home order. That is also a big concern, because now it's pretty much up to our citizens if they want to stay at home, or if they don't. You know, they can travel pretty much at their leisure. And then another big one is that he opened up the malls, the stores, the restaurants, movie theaters, and all of these with a 25% occupancy. That means that if a restaurant has a occupancy of 40, they cannot have more than 10 people in the restaurant at any one time, which, you know, I feel it's kind of counterproductive, because if you're going to have, let's say our restaurants are small and they have a capacity of 40, and now they have to hire the dishwashers, the waiters, the cooks, you know, everything else, plus all the utilities that they need to pay for. And the most they can hope for is to get 25% of the potential income that they can make. To me, it makes more sense if they just keep the retail to go. It cuts down on expenses, and they probably have the same sales. But again, it's up to the individual restaurants whether they want to do that or not. Museums and public libraries were also open. However, he did leave a clause in there that the cities don't have to open them. If y'all don't want to, the cities can close them. He did not open barbershops, hair salons, gyms, massage establishment, tattoo parlors, video arcades, bowling alleys, anything such as that. He did not open. It's still closed. But he did say that come middle of May the 18th, if the numbers in cases don't spike, that he might open them then, which also, you know, I have an issue with, because I feel in 2 weeks, we will not see the numbers increase, because normally the symptoms don't show for approximately 14 days. So if someone gets it halfway into it, they're not going to show for another 3 weeks to a month. So that's going to be kind of misleading, but anyhow, that is his order. Now, in areas where we have less than 5 cases, those establishments can open up to 50% capacity, which I think that just makes it even harder for us to live with. Also, the enforcement. We don't have the enforcement capacity to go out there and inspect all these establishments on a daily basis. You know, it's impossible. I mean, no one has, the sheriff, the city PDs, we just don't have the numbers. So I think that is also going to be an obstacle. What I'm getting ready to do is to put out a letter to the businesses, a message to the businesses saying, you know, that even though this order takes effect Friday, and we were holding off because, you know, Rose Benavides, who has helped me a tremendous amount, was looking into the possibility of some of our larger counties contesting this order. But it is an administrative order and it becomes law. It's just law. So we need to follow it. If there's any way that we can work around it, we will try and work around it so that we can keep our requirements, our constraints in place. They've worked. I mean, there's no argument. They've worked. But unfortunately, the governor needs to, or feels he needs to open up for economic reasons. And I agree. At some point, we do need to think about our economics. I just feel that right now, we could have waited another 2 weeks, 3 weeks without too much of a additional burden, and we could have been much safer. So, what I'm going to ask the businesses is that they seriously consider, and that we strongly recommend, and I'm hoping the cities do too, that they must keep the masks or the face coverings on. So in their businesses, and several businesses have already called me and said that they're going to do it. They're not going to allow their customers, their patrons, to go in without a face covering. Also, we need to keep the social distancing. That is critical, that we keep our distances. The sanitizing and washing of hands, also very, very important. And just some of the things that we have been doing, that we continue to do it, to stay at home. If we don't have a need to leave, we need to stay in our homes. The only way the virus can continue to travel is if it goes from person to person. So if we stay at home, it eliminates the probability of us getting it, and it eliminates the probability of us giving it to someone else. So to me, that is the biggest thing that we can do to curtail the spreading of the virus. Again, this is totally up to the business owners. We cannot dictate, but I think, like I said, a lot of our businesses have already called, and they said that they were going to do that. So, I'll open it up. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Vasquez was not able to join me because he had an emergency that came up right here at the end. But we talked about this, and he concurs 100% with what I'm saying. In fact, we discussed it, and I told him I wouldn't say anything that he did not agree to. So what I'm saying, Dr. Vasquez also agrees with that. I'll open it up for any questions or any comments that anyone might have.
Is it just me and you and Rose?
There's about 6 other people on the call.
Okay. No, pues, I agree with you, Judge. I think it's still early for the governor to open up everything, all the establishments, ¿verdad? Pero I disagree with a lot of this that's going on, pero on the same token, ¿verdad? Necesitamos lose a little bit of fear, pero on the restaurant side, ¿verdad? If Rio Grande opens the restaurants, La Grulla is gonna go over there to get a meal, ¿verdad? So, I just want to be on the same page that Rio Grande, de Roma, Escobares, everybody in the county, ¿verdad?
Yeah. It is my belief, Mayor, that the restaurant owners, if they want to open up with a maximum of 25 capacity, there's not much that we can do to stop them. Because it is an order from the governor that they can open up. What we're asking is that these businesses take into consideration the safety of their employees and the safety of their customers, that, for their safety, that they stay maybe in a retail to go type business for another few weeks. My thing is, if some other community in North Texas, East Texas, wherever, they want to open up, fine, let them open up. And then we'll see what happens. 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, if the numbers haven't spiked, then maybe it's okay to do it. but I don't want to be used, or Stark County to be used as a guinea pig to see what's going to happen. We've worked real hard. The mayors, the PDs, the judges, I mean, everyone has worked so hard, the medical community, to keep our numbers down, and just to open it up all of a sudden and destroy all the work that we've done, I don't feel that is right. You know, do we need to open up for business? Heck yeah. But I don't think right now is the time. I agree with you, Mayor. Anyone have any other question or comment?
Judge, we would just echo, and I know the conversation came up that the last couple of days, we have been speaking directly to the administration in Rio Grande City and in Roma. And they have all been very clear that their idea is to follow your direction.
I'm sorry, Rose. I'm looking at some questions. What was that again?
No, that just wanted to make clear to the mayor and anybody else that was listening that as far as the administration in the city of Rio Grande and the city of Roma, we've been in constant communication, and they're going to do and ask a business what the county is hopeful and expecting that they will do in continuing to move some of these initiatives forward. And so we have their support to try and do the same, and for them to strongly encourage restaurants and businesses to do the same and to continue to protect themselves and the public by requiring face coverings and by ensuring social distancing. And so it's a long task, but we do have the support of the municipalities to do to follow the directives that you adopt in the county level.
I've got some questions that are coming in, and I'll try to address them. One of them is, can you share the businesses that will be allowed to reopen? It's pretty much what I said at the beginning, but I'll go ahead and repeat that. What the governor has said, that the malls, the Texas malls, he says stores, and that's pretty much general, restaurants, movie theaters, they can all open up with a 25% occupancy. Outdoor sports such as golf and tennis and others, they can open up, but they must have no more than 4 participants. Museums and libraries also can open up. However, the cities have the discretion of closing those down. My understanding is that's pretty much the only discretion that he left for local government. As far as orders from counties, he made it very explicit that his order would supersede any and all county orders. So, you know, and I find that disturbing, you know, because at the beginning, when this thing started, the counties, the county judges were told that we needed to come up with what orders we needed, the restrictions that we wanted to put on our people. And we did. And that was tough, you know, because we knew that a lot of people were going to be hurt with some of the things we were going to ask for. But we did it because we felt that was in best interest of our communities. Now he comes in and he says, no, you know, I don't, it's not what you all want. I'm going to open them up. So now he opens everything up that we not tried and worked real hard to control. But again, he is our boss. He's a governor, and it's law, and we must follow it. So, you know, that pretty much is where we're at. You know, the way I see it, unless some of the bigger counties challenge this, and we are able to get some flexibility in the order, we don't have much of a say. It's pretty much what the governor says.
Judge, and I think the reminder is that beauty salons, barber shops, and tattoo and all those are still remain closed. Even the governor and the state have not opened up. Many of the ones that you still have as explicitly closed remain closed.
That is correct. Yeah, the beauty salons and barber shops, which I feel maybe if anything were to be opened up, that should have been it, because those are easier to manage. You know, you can manage the number of people in there. You know, we can control the square footage.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
I think that would have been a lot easier than to
The
open up
county
a
judge
theater.
and speak at the 5:31.
Another question that I had was any idea as to how many businesses are planning to open Friday?
You sounded, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry?
Yeah,
Sorry?
keep going now. So that was what I was looking at or listening to, or both, I guess. Trying to multitask. So we're on.
Okay. Another question that I was asked was how many businesses are planning to open up Friday? I have no idea. I have no idea how many are planning to open up, but I'm sure there'll be some. Most of the business owners that have called me are to tell me that they are not going to open up, but that's a very small minority of the businesses that are out there. How many are going to follow suit? I don't know. Is there any other questions or comment? I just wanted to have this because I know yesterday we had an interview in the media, and the reason I hadn't gone out to our constituents is that I was hoping that I could hear something from the larger counties, and hopefully we could twig our order to some extent, but we haven't been able to get anything. So that's the reason. But certainly we don't want to hide anything from our community. Everyone's entitled to know everything that's going on, and this is where we're at now. I got another couple of questions. One, will the county judge's office still be able to maintain rules for masks? Yes. We will ask all our employees and people that are coming into the annex to wear a mask. We'll see how that plays. The people really from Stark County have been extremely gracious and helpful in controlling the situation. I mean, on the community, you drive out there and I guarantee that 95% of our people are wearing face coverings. So yeah, any building in the county will be required to wear face coverings. On a percent of 25, or is it because we have less than 5 active cases? Well, the way I interpret it is if we have had less than 5 cases, but so far we've had 9 cases, we have 2 active right now. So I feel that for that reason, we don't qualify for the 50. We qualify for the 25%. However, if the numbers don't spike by the 18th of May, that number will increase to 50%. Or the governor would sign another order increasing it to 50%. That is what he told us. Any other question, comments? I'm open to suggestions.
I think that one of the things that we've been trying really hard to relay to the business community is encouraging a lot of curbside, a lot of retail to go and starting that way so that we can get their business going, but still maintain some sort of preventive measures that we hope won't create any kind of additional exposure. But the idea for businesses is we want them to know that we want them to get back to doing business, but that we will support whatever efforts they have and to encourage them to open and to try retail to go as they're inching to having actual face-to-face contact.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, Rose. And again, I'm certainly not trying to tell anyone what to do with their businesses. It's yours. You run it any way you want to. But one thing that needs to be taken into consideration on a retail to go, you know, you might be selling more than 25% right now, just of what you were used to selling, versus if you open up, the best that you can do is 25%. So, you know, we would encourage that businesses try and keep the retail to go. Like I said, you know, at some point it does have to open, but let someone else be the experimental phase. I don't want our community to be the experimental. If it works, I'll be the first to admit, you know, that we should have done it. But if it doesn't, I don't want to have our people getting sick because we jumped the gun and wanted to be first to open up. I'd rather be safe and our people stay as safe as they possibly can. I'm asked also, are we still having to follow the curfew order after Friday? That the curfew, the county doesn't have a curfew. The curfews are, I believe it's Roma and Rio Grande City that have curfews. You know, I really don't know, but I think the cities can keep their curfews. But again, that's something that the city councils would have to address. That's above my pay grade. Is there any information on local theater on plans to open? My understanding is that they plan to remain closed. It is not financially beneficial for them to open at 25% capacity. So that was, you know, and I want to thank the leadership of our theater for taking that stand. That really worried me. The theater was one of the things that worried me the most. So I'm very appreciative to the administration and leadership of our theater that they are going to remain closed. I have another question. For larger clothing stores such as Bells and Melrose, is the decision to open up to a local manager? Again, you know, we cannot tell a business owner how to run their business, but I would imagine that the orders have to come from headquarters. But it's strictly up to them. You know, if they want to open up with a 25% capacity, you know, there's not much we can do. You know, it's up to them. Any other question? And I'm glad Rose brought that up about the beauty salons and barbershops. I've gotten a lot of calls requesting when are those going to be open. I realize a lot of our people make a living off of that. And believe me, we've been trying for the last 3 weeks to open them up, but the governor has not wanted to waive on that. And I can understand, you know, there's personal contact in those businesses, but I feel that they're probably easier to control than a restaurant or a movie theater. But again, that's my opinion. What about churches? The churches were opened, and this is where one of the questions still remains, because the 10 or more limit was passed by the federal government. So, and this is a state order. I don't know if our governor can supersede a federal order. So that's going to have to be discussed and determined at a later date. But the churches can, you know, the way they've been doing it, they can do it through virtual, which a lot of things are now happening that way. This meeting, for example, they can videotape or they can have, but again, we have the 10-person limit. That's going to be something that hopefully will be answered here in the next day or so, because that could play a part as to opening some of the businesses. Any other questions or comments?
Judge, this is Jose de Leon. I'm a reporter with the Progress Times newspaper.
Uh-huh.
So, I wanted to ask, so what exactly is the direction of Stark County? Because you talked a lot in the beginning of how, you disagree with the governor's decisions, but are you still gonna go through with the governor's decisions, or?
Jose, yeah, even though I disagree with some of the things that the governor has in his orders, he trumps anything that I might decide. He is the governor, and his order is law. And like I've mentioned before, Stark County is a county of law, and we will follow his laws. Whether I like them or not, that is what we're going to follow. What we're pleading to is to our community, that they don't lose sight of what has helped us get to the situation that we're in. Our county our size, I believe that this is the county of population, almost 70,000, that has the least amount of cases has been Stark County. And the reason that it has is because the people in our community have endorsed and have followed the orders that were placed on them by the county and the cities. I just beg that our community continue to follow him, even though it might not be an order, but we know that they've worked. So the closer we follow the same rules that we had before, our numbers will remain low. If we disregard what we were doing before, we're playing Russian roulette in our community. And that's the last thing I think our community wants. But we will follow the order.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Any other question, comment? Okay. Well, if not, I thank you all for your time. Again, any questions that anyone might have, you can call my office at 716 or 956-716-4800, and we will try and get any answers that we have. Also, I could be reached on the Stark County Facebook or my personal Facebook, email, however you want to, and I will answer any questions that you will have. I got one last question that I just got in. It says, if stores reopen and attract commerce from Mexico consumers, what is the concern of the virus traffic crossing the bridge? And that has been a huge concern for us because, it's hard to control. However, the bridge itself currently have limitation as to the number of people that can come across, or us to go into Mexico. Mexico is now allowing us to go over there to go have dinner or anything like that. If it's business, you can, but other than that, pretty much it's closed. So, it is a concern. How do we control it? We test anyone that comes in. If they stay for longer than 24 hours, they have to quarantine. And if they don't, it's just a trip to come do their business and get back. They cannot be, talking to people or shopping or anything like that. It's strictly to do the business. I have another question, and I totally forgot about this, and that's about the daycares. The adult daycares, those specifically have been closed by the governor for now. And that I agree with him. I totally agree, because if we look at some of our neighboring counties, one in particular, 50% of the cases that they've had have been in situations where elderly are kept together. So that is a huge danger. So, I'm glad the governor kept those closed. On the daycares, we're trying to get some guidance as to whether we can open them or not, and also the requirements as far as for opening. So hopefully that too, in the next week, we'll have some more definite answers. If we can, certainly we'll try and open them. But they will have some restrictions. Well, again, I thank all of you that joined us. And I encourage, if any questions come up, don't hesitate to call me. I will try and answer all your questions on a timely manner and as best as I can. If I don't know the answer, I promise you I'll get the answer. Again, thank you all so much. Stay safe and stay at home. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.